I'm really bad at Minecraft Skywars. I can't sword PvP, I can't aim my bow straight, I don't know how to use snowballs properly, and I can't for the life of me figure out how to switch from one hotbar slot to another in a stressful situation. But there is one thing I am good at, creating problems. And fixing them. So today I decided to figure out how to win Hypixel Skywars games without getting better at the game. Here's how I started winning 80% of my Skywars games without even trying. It all started on your average day, with me wondering how I could abuse the Hypixel game pieces to start winning more Skywars matches. You know, as you do. That is when I saw the Bridger perk. It gives a 50% chance that placing blocks will not spend the block. This essentially turns 32 wooden planks into a stack of 48. However, this perk isn't inherently broken by itself, as simply having more blocks won't win you more games. So I tried to use Bridger to improve one of the weak strategies I enjoy, sky bases. The perk simply increased the amount of blocks I could place in my tower, but it was like wrapping a turd with gold. It looks nice, but the strategy still stinks. I needed some way to completely break the perk, not simply use it as intended. That's when it hit me. There are some very powerful blocks that this perk could duplicate. The three big ones are TNT, bookshelves, and obsidian. I first tried TNT with the Cannoneer kit since I already had it, but TNT doesn't duplicate. Darn it, seems like they thought of that already. I then tried bookshelves, but let's just say the results were disappointing. So obsidian it was. The theory was simple. If I had a bit of luck, I would be able to place 10 pieces of obsidian. This is enough to fully encase a player, making him theoretically invincible. However, this isn't enough by itself as, though it took longer to break, my competitor could still eventually mine through the obsidian, dropping me into the void or onto his sword. Fortunately, the kit that comes with obsidian, Guardian, holds the answers inside of it. Spawn eggs. These little buggers behave in a weird way in 1.8, which will end up being our redemption. You see, in 1.21, if I engulf myself in a box like this, then try spawning my spawn eggs, they spawn inside the box, as you would expect. However, in 1.8, if I engulf myself with blocks, then spawn the zombies and skeletons, they instead spawn outside of the box. This makes me like a bomb just waiting to explode. I guess my skin is TNT. Anyways, if I encase myself with obsidian, then unleash my minions when my enemy least expects it, I can kill him, winning the game. As soon as I dropped out of the sky, I grabbed blocks out of the chest on my island and started building my trap. However, after setting up the platform, I ran out of obsidian. Since it is only a 50% chance that a block will duplicate, this is quite possible. However, I had one idea that might possibly remedy the situation. If my opponent thought I was in the obsidian, I would still be able to get the jump on him and possibly win the game. So after waiting for a little bit and helping my opponent find me, oh, this guy is a noob. That's okay, I'll have a higher chance of killing... Okay, so game 1 didn't really prove that the strategy works, but on to game 2. For game 2, I was actually able to finish my obsidian box. Before entering into it though, I wanted to watch my competition. After I enter this box, I'm almost completely blind. So after witnessing a couple murders, I was finally down to the final 3. Since I figured my opponents would target each other first, I boxed myself in. Okay, that kind of worked, but hiding in my base would have done just as well. Game 3 started out normally, but here my quick box and saved my life. After building my box, I added some safety dirt so I'd be able to quickly enter and save myself. Not even 2 seconds later, I get knocked in. I then lock myself in, which causes my attacker to run off, seeking easier prey. After a long wait, it is down to the final 2. My opponent reaches my island when I deploy my trap. It doesn't do anything. He kills my mobs and then gets to work killing me. The first thing he tries to do is blow me up, but the laws of Minecraft won't allow for that. Then he just mines the bottom block and kills me. Yeah, the strategy isn't great when the trap fails. Game 4! After my trap's failure on game 3, I know for sure that I need the area around me to be precarious. Zombies won't reduce the player down to 0 HP, but they can knock one off, so that is what I get to work creating. I barely get the trap together in time as another player reaches me, but once again I turtle until he gets killed by another player. The last player though is of much better temperament than my previous opponents. He laughs at the situation that I put myself into, which is when I release my trap. He then compliments my trap, which is when I try a new strategy, being nice. To which he nicely replies, "Win number 3, on to game 5. For game 5, my recording software had problems, so you'll only be seeing it from the Hypixel replay. I immediately start the game by setting up my trap, but there's one problem. I run out of obsidian. I plan to finish the game just like my first win when an idea hits me. If I get my hands on a diamond pickaxe, I can mine the obsidian and place it again, giving it another chance to duplicate. So I race down the stairs, mine the 3 diamonds, grab the crafting table, craft the pickaxe, and get to mining the obsidian. After placing the obsidian, it duplicates. I will now be able to box myself in. After some time passes, it's down to the last 2 of us. My opponent shoots arrows at me, but misses everyone. He then pearls to my island, which is when I box myself in. Then, as he goes to mine my obsidian, I unleash my trap. So there you have it. I made a new Skywars strategy that wins without having to be good at the game. Subscribe so I can unlock Hypixel YouTube rank, check out my video where I beat Minecraft without mobs, and stop watching YouTube to tell your mom you love her. God bless.